Hello everyone. I am assuming you're here to make a plushie, because why else would you be on this channel?
A Blum plushie is what we're going to be making today. Hi, I'm Dusk, and this is Dusk Plush, the sewing channel that makes Roblox related plushies. And whether it's your first or second time here, I'll walk you through the steps on how to make a plushie. I'm sorry if this isn't the best. I'm still new to this, like you might be. And let's get right into it. So, of course, the first step is going to be to print out all the pieces, which I don't really know how I'd get footage for that one because, well, it's printing. I'm not going to set up a camera in front of a printer, but I have footage for the next step. So, you're going to want to cut the paper first. The paper with the patterns you printed. It's split into two, while the official page is probably going to be split into three. But that's because when I made this, I didn't know about an issue with Google Docs that didn't allow me to print it perfectly. And once you've finished that, it's time to start tracing and cutting out the patterns on fabric. Just follow along with the video, it should be clear enough. Also, sorry about how unclear some of the pattern traces are. All my black Sharpies are dead, mostly, and the blue ones would bleed through and be a mess, so I can't use those, and I don't know where the gray ones that work are. And now you're going to want to attach the first two pieces together, being the big accent color piece and the main face piece. Follow along with the video if you don't know what I'm talking about. Actually, I'd recommend following along with it anyway, because it'll just show you everything I'm doing. I'd recommend starting on the corner, like this, but you don't necessarily have to start there. You can start anywhere as long as it fits properly. Now you're going to want to fold and start attaching this seam like this to both sides. Just watch. And do the same to the other side. Now it's time to start on the face. Watch the video, it'll show you how to do everything and where to put every piece of the face. Now there's kind of like the opposite version of this, which is... No, not the opposite version. There's kind of like a backside that also has the bottom pieces. They probably won't line up perfectly in the finished product, but it'll still look nice to have them. So follow along with the video on how to attach them to the back pieces. Now, the other side. And now it's time to start attaching the two sides. It's for the back together. Make sure the dark green is touching its other side. The dark green parts are touching when you assemble it. Make sure to do that. Also, leave a hole to invert the head through later. If it's too small, you can always cut it bigger. And now attach the back and front of the head, which this plushie is mostly head, so good news, you've made a lot of progress. Now start inverting. Now you should stuff it. Stuff it to the way you like it. Or if you're making it for someone else, stuff it the way they like. If they like something firm or squishy, stuff it however's best. Now all that's left to do for the head is just to sew it back up. Pretty simple. And now I gotta sew these two stalks in half. The terminology I'm gonna be using is because of, well, what it's easy to associate with, which will be helpful. So we sew it in half, hot dog style. Oh my god, that sounded so stupid to say. Now you gotta do it again, because you gotta do it twice. Another hot dog style thing.
So you have a bunch of yellow and green semicircle pieces that the yellows are smaller than the greens. Look at this. This is how you put them together. It'll be important in a minute, I swear.
You do have to make 4 of these little bits, you'll see why. Follow along really closely with the video for this one. You're gonna have to start at a very specific place when putting both sides of the bulbs together, and also have to pay really close attention to where you stop, where you invert, because there's gonna be a part where you do need to invert them in a specific way and do need to sew something else to them. Now this is where you invert it. Be very careful not to go over. And be very careful with the inverting process not to rip things. But if it does rip at all, that's fine. You can always go back and fix the hole you might have made. Stuff it slightly. Just slightly, not too much.
Now, you want to position
One of the stem pieces that you assembled earlier in the center and sew over it while you finish up sewing, like this.
Now, do all of that again.
And now, assemble the feet. I'd recommend starting at the back, inverting just before the back too. Because there's gotta be some place you're gonna invert because there's no hole like the head. So, Just follow along, you'll be fine. Invert and stuff, you probably saw this step coming a mile away. Repeat all those steps again. Now we gotta start on the flower, which you gotta make a round circle first. Follow along with the video. Oh, I know I say that a lot, but a lot of this is visual stuff, which the video has. Now, of course, you're at the inverting and stuffing stage again. Now it's time to make the petals. You're not gonna go all the way. There's supposed to be a flatter part that you're not supposed to sew. It may come out looking a little wonky though, so don't worry if it looks odd. Just leave one side unsewn and invert it then. And this is about where you should stop. And after that, after it's inverted and sewn up, do it like 3 more times. Yeah, 3, because you need 4 petals. Alright, time to assemble the flower. It's not too complicated, just think of it like a compass, like northeast, southwest, like with the petal positions. Just focus on the video if that's not enough. And another here. One more here. And the last one goes here. And that's pretty much it. Now, get out all the rest of your pieces. Just get them all out. You're gonna need them all for the next step. We're at the point of assembly, and first I'd recommend sewing the flower on top of the head. Follow along with the video, it goes right there. Now, add the stem antenna things. This is an easier step than the last one.
Put them both on top of the flower. I'll show you where to do both. And this is where the second one goes. And now for one of the last parts, the feet. It's not too hard to figure out where those go, but I'll show you anyway and slow down when I get to the second part. The second foot. But the first one goes right here, probably. Unless you want to make your Blum really weird. Or you could do it on the other side. Like, you could do them in reverse order than I'm doing. And finally, the location of the last foot. So, after that, it's done. Yeah. It's just in time for Easter. And with that, you have your Blum plushie. I think it turned out nice. I hope you enjoyed yours if you decided to make it, and yeah. And now that is all for this video, and if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I try to post 2 of these videos a month now, which means 24 tutorials a year for Roblox related plushies. And next up, I'm going to be doing something horror related because I like horror. I mean, it's not too scary. It's not really a scary plush. I'll give you a little hint twice. And with that hint out of the way, I'll see you all next time if you decide to come back. See ya!